Okay, in this video we're going to show you how to use lights, cameras, and you can come up with the action part. But it's going to simply let us allow to work in more of a 3D world, which is pretty fun. It's a little challenging, but it's pretty cool as well. So we're going to go ahead and start with a 2D graphic that I've got here, and I've got a text layer with our lights, camera, action on it. The one thing I've already done, I think I've done, let me double check. Yes, I've already done it. On my graphic layer here, I've already turned it into what's known as a 3D layer. So once you place a 2D image, photo, picture, that kind of thing, even video clip, etc., you can turn it into a 3D layer. So that way you can move it on a more three-dimensional concepts. So I'm going to move in here into my, I believe it was my X rotation here. And I'm going to rotate that so you can kind of see what that looks like. But it's a 2D image that we can rotate, and then it'll look somewhat through, well, we get a sliver. That's all we really get to see left of it, since we're seeing it on its side. So I'm going to leave it like that so we can, once we put a camera in there and we kind of zoom around, you'll be able to see how these 2D objects, if they are then turned into a 3D object, you can manipulate them, kind of through time and space, as well as your lights and cameras. So pretty complete, package of options you can do. Let me fix up one little piece I saw here. I need a space in there. That looks a little better. Okay, here we go. So you've got these layers. That one, I'm not sure. Let's double check again. That is not a 3D layer, so let's give it 3D layer capability just in case our text layer as well. Maybe we want to rotate that on in other, instead of just 2D perspectives. So the main idea, let's go ahead and add a camera. So cameras and the lights, the new ideas we're going to add are going to be under this new option. So just like the text layer was, we could go that route. But let's go to camera this time. And it's going to give you some options for a camera. You can experiment with these ideas a little bit later, but let's go ahead and hit OK on the default settings, and then you'll notice your view now switches to the active camera, it gives you pretty much the same view you already had, so it puts it backwards a little bit. So there's now a camera with a certain position options you can kind of see here, and we can do all the things, same things you could do with a normal object. This is the point of interest, so kind of what it's aiming at. So that's another kind of a key thing when it comes to what the camera is going to be looking at. Let's see, camera options. Let's go in there and see what else you can look at. The zoom, if it's how zoom did it, it kind of makes sense. You've probably done that with your traditional digital cameras. And a couple of these other sliders, I'd probably just recommend you, give them a little pull, a nudge, and see what they do. But kind of a zoom is it's not actually moving the objects nor the camera. It's just kind of changing the level. You'd actually change the position of the camera is another option you would be able to do. So if you wanted to move closer or further away from the camera on any of your access points, you could do that. So let me, now we've got a camera, what the heck would you want to do with that? Well, since I have this 2D object, I could kind of change my perspective of this whole scene, and we can kind of see this 2D object from a different angle with this camera. So we can, do all kinds of fun stuff. Let me go ahead and add the other idea we're going to throw in here. Which is going to be some lighting effects. So let me see, we got under layer, we got new, and you got a light option. Get some different types of lights. Probably spotlight would be the easiest one for us to check out. Now I've got white text. I might want to change the color of this just so I can kind of see what happens when you get a hold of that. You can kind of notice what it did is turned my white text into red text. Shining a light on that would kind of do that. Let's see if you can see what your adjustments are with that. Under light options, you can change all those different ideas if you wanted to. The intensity of the light, that cone, kind of how defined it is. Cone angle. Typically, there's also a point of interest on this one as well. So kind of where it's aiming for. So you can kind of manipulate that too. So if it's not aiming at your target. Let's see if we can get it back up there a little bit. All right, cool. So you can kind of see what I got going on there. I have a light now that's changed the look of my scene quite a bit. And somewhere in this situation, I have another point. We can't quite see it since our light is not shining on it. Let me add another light just for fun. And this one, I'm going to make a traditional white light. Let's see, kind of pick it that way. Yeah, let's go this route. There we go. And I'm going to move this one a little bit. See if we can mess with some of those options. All right, so you got a little different effect. The different light sources are causing my white text to have a couple different looks to it. So anyway, we haven't had no animation in the thing at all yet. Let's go ahead and animate that camera that we had, and then we'll try to kind of get like a little bit of a flyby perspective. And I think if I could raise my camera up, I probably should be able to see that 2D object that's not quite available anymore, since our normal light sources are not quite hitting it. But let me see how that's going to go. So let's go back to our camera. I'm going to go ahead and change its position. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and start that keyframing process that we've done before. Move down the timeline a little bit, and let's just see if we can change what the camera is looking at. So let's just mess with these sliders and see what we get a little bit. So this is going to move, looks like your z-axis. So you're kind of getting closer or farther away from the, our objects in our 2D scene. So maybe let's pan out a little bit and go that route. And then let's see what these other ones do. We're going to get another option to kind of go, basically up or down. That 2D object, we can almost make it out if we get it at the right angle. I'm going to keep going here. All right, there she blows. If we keep going that direction, I can probably start to see more of that 2D object. Let me see what we can get on these other. So that basically changed the other perspective. All right, I'm not going to go with that. Let me see what we have. Now, I know this is not really that clear. Let's see, we could change these light sources around maybe to illuminate, that other idea we've got down below there a little bit more. So anyway, it's pretty fun to play with these guys. And let's see what happened. We now started in this position, and then our camera changed position over time. Not necessarily our objects, but that gave us a different perspective since we had tilted our little 2D shape on its side. And you can kind of see now your camera can definitely change your options on what you can do with this program. So hopefully have fun with that. If you need any help, come and see me. Thanks.